touch it, pay it disappear. Rock it, why don't you rock it?